Vince Lennon joined us from Noble now with the story of two other families who want to know what's in the urn. Right, Vince?
Yes, very much so. Good evening, Bob. And as the number of bodies found here continues to rise, so does the sense of shock and disbelief. And this horror show is not expected to end anytime soon as both families and authorities come to grips with the grim reality of an apparent fraud taken to grave proportions.
The center. What do we know, Vince?
Well, Bob, the big question people are asking is exactly how the suspect escaped the hospital from where he was to be mentally evaluated. The answer to that question awaits. In the meantime, it feels like a nightmare that will never end for the folks who actually saw Officer Jack's gun down.
I couldn't even sleep at all last night, just hearing those gunshots in my head all night.
And while the water is rushing through the spillways, victims of the floods are trying to get back to some semblance of normalcy. But normal is a far cry from what they're still dealing with. News Channel 9's Vince Lennon joins us now from the banks of the Tennessee River. And Vince, a lot of people are still cleaning up today.
Yeah, Bob, and cleaning up is a full-time job for those people affected. Now, it seems Ray and northern Hamilton counties were the areas hit hardest weather-wise. And we didn't have to tell that to Sale Creek, Tennessee's Lisa and Patrick Gentry, who found themselves smack dab in the middle of a flood. A new day dawns for Patrick Gentry and his yardbirds, all of which are in a more than the usual foul mood with what Mother Nature brought them this past weekend, floodwaters from a nearby swollen creek.
I've lived here all my life, and I've never seen this creek get that high.
But then again, Patrick is seeing a lot more these days he'd rather not, like a front lawn that looks more like a cut-rate flea market. None of this is his, but the backyard is filled with what used to be his family's furnishings.
We had about 7 inches of standing water, and as it went down, we were able to pull all this out.
Including the proverbial rug out from under them.
We just want to tell everyone to watch their insurance.
Which Patrick has found won't cover his losses, conservatively estimated at $10,000. Certainly not chicken scratch, which, by the way, was ruined as well. Digging out from everything that's been destroyed from the flood, the Gentrys are trying to keep the best spin on things. And with that in mind, they do have plenty of gas cans that floated up on their property, all at a very reasonable price.
Fillers are going to be...
If you're missing one, come down here. I've got it.
Sometimes you have to laugh instead of cry, and that's what the Gentrys are doing. And another reason that's keep them smiling is their 6-year-old son, Tyler, who took the initiative on his own to call 911 to let authorities know that they had safely evacuated out of their house. An A+ for both Tyler and his teacher for a lesson well taught and learned. That's the story live here at the Chickamauga Dam. Vince Lennon, News Channel 9. Bob, back to you.
Tyler is a hero tonight. Thank you, Vince.
But what happens next is anybody's guess.
Vince Lennon joins us now live from Nashville, where the house just came back on the floor about half an hour ago. It's like waiting for the other shoe to drop. Vince, what can you tell us now?
Well, good evening, Bob, Calvin. There's some tense feelings and frustration from lawmakers who are getting negative feedback from their people for their perceived inability to make this budget, and then the ensuing state furlough, which idled roughly half the state workers, most of which stayed home today. All of this going on as lawmakers try to bridge the gulf that divides them.
We need to really search our souls and see where we are. Right.
Where we are is 99 days and counting, back where it began and never ended in the Tennessee State House, as income tax naysayers tell those supporting the NAFI plan not to hold their breath.
And I think until we admit that, we can shut down our parks, we can lay off our state employees, and we can do everything else, but we can't create a market for something that people just don't want.
And if we keep waiting around until we get enough votes to vote for an income tax or another long-term solution, which I don't think we're going to get in the next couple of weeks, we're going to hurt a lot of people.
But if you can keep me from having to have the members of the Finance Committee spend this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, whatever it takes, working on a budget that none of us want to vote for, then please, let's put it up here. Put the revenue measure up here and let's get a vote.
If we can't pass $1 billion, let's look at $200-300 or $200-500 or whatever. Let's get something going.
But there seems apparent gridlock with no solution for this budget puzzle.
If we pass the CATS plan, that doesn't mean we can't come back in here in the fall and do a special session on long-term tax reform. We can still do that. And I would hope some of the people who are on the income tax would switch over and vote for that plan or the Cooper plan or whatever comes out of here. But we need to vote on something today.
And the plan they've been kicking around, at least on the House floor, is the no new taxes, no new revenue plan. There doesn't seem to be a groundswell of support for it as of now. The Senate has adjourned for the evening. They will reconvene tomorrow, and we'll have the latest for you as it becomes available here on News Channel 9. For now, that's the story live here from the state capitol in Nashville, Tennessee. Vince Lennon, News Channel 9. Bob, Calvin, back to you.
Vince, is there any indication that they might indeed vote on anything today before the session ends today?
There is that possibility, although there just doesn't seem, at least in the House's side of things, there just doesn't seem to be that 50 votes there for anything. Unless there is some sort of cataclysmic change within the last hour or so, it doesn't seem that it's going to be apparent.
All right, we'll check with you back at 11 o'clock.
Here is Vince and Don.
Melissa's off today, and Vinny is in with us. What was it like when you left up on the mountain this morning? About as cold as it is here in the valley?
In my garage, it was 12. Nice, balmy, warm 12 degrees, but I'm sure it was a little colder outside the garage.
I bet it was, too.
And I wasn't about to take it out and do all that.
Really?
No.
Oh, Vinny.
It's cold out there. And as Bill just told us, and as we were just talking about, everyone is experiencing extremely cold temperatures here in the Tennessee Valley this morning, including News Channel 9's Rex Thompson, who unfortunately is out and about, braving the cold out at Mountain Creek Road and at the W. Rex, how you doing out there? You look a little warmer than the last half hour.
Yodelee, it's cold. Yodelee, it's cold. Okay.
Well, thank you, Rex. We'll keep in touch with you throughout the morning.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. You were yodeling. I can understand. Yes. We'll keep in touch with you throughout the morning. And, of course, for the folks out and about there, you can keep abreast of the latest school and business closings at the bottom of your screen or by logging on to newschannel9.com for the latest on information in that regard. The cause of a Chattanooga fire has been ruled accidental, caused by having furniture too close to a heater. Ronald Ricks was in bed watching TV at his Hendrick Street home Thursday morning when he realized his house was on fire. He says he heard a loud boom and then smoke filled the house. Ricks was able to escape with minor burns to his hands. Damages are estimated at $20,000. Mr. Ricks and his wife are getting assistance from the Red Cross this morning. The Ramada Inn just off Interstate 75, which had the entire wing destroyed by fire last April, is about to reopen. Workers tell us the Ramada is scheduled to reopen next month on February 9th. The new Ramada will be a little bit smaller than the old one. It will now have 88 rooms, down from the pre-fire number of 144. Some of the former employees are coming back, while others have found new jobs. The trial of Jeremy Tucker Davis, who is charged with trying to kill a Chattanooga police officer last year, will continue today. Thursday, District Attorney General Bill Cox displayed the Kevlar vest that possibly saved the life of Officer David Mays. Mays was shot January 8th of last year trying to take the defendant, 26-year-old Jeremy Tucker Davis, into custody. If convicted, Davis could get 25 years on that charge alone, and that's not counting the 37 other criminal charges he has yet to be tried on. At 5:34, let's check in for the latest weather information from our News Channel 9 meteorologist, Bill Race. Good morning again, Bill.
Hey, good morning, Vinny. Thank you.
Good morning, Vince.
Good morning, Butch, and thank you. We have some breaking news right now. A shooting between Hamilton County deputies and two suspects lands one suspect in the hospital and the other on the run in Marion County, Tennessee. It all began after 2 this morning on Signal Mountain when a car refused to stop for police there. A chase ensued down the mountain and into Marion County, and that's where the shooting happened. We're still unclear on the details on that, but one suspect was injured and taken to the hospital. We have no confirmed word on his condition, but we do know the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has been called in. We have a crew working on this story right now, and we'll continue to bring you updates on this story throughout the morning.